In his State of the Union address, the president vowed to shut down the detention center at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. He called the place that has housed detainees from the war on terror since 2002 expensive, unnecessary, and a recruitment tool for America's enemies.
And Sharon, this is what the camp looked like when we went there on assignment in 2002 to cover Quad Cityans who were called to serve as military police. Shortly after, Camp X-Ray was deserted because it was only temporary as they started to build more and more permanent structures to house the detainees, what was now called Camp Delta. Operations have been going on since then. And as the future continues to cause heated debate today, many units have called this place home for the past 15 years, beginning with the first. And a lot has changed for them too, as tonight we take you back to the Bay.
It's just like a family tradition, I think, in our family that someone held that legacy and went in the service.
Misty Mills' family has a proud history of service. She was a single mother of two when she got the call to go to Gitmo to guard detainees deemed terrorist threats.
I had to leave my kids behind and go off for a year.
The first of many changes she and others with the 339th Military Police had to adjust to. Another big change, the climate here. Just a few weeks ago in the QCA, there were several inches of snow on the ground. Here, the average temperature is 80 degrees year-round. Usually very windy, always extremely dry. In fact, we drank about 12 of these a day just to keep our fluids up.
The sun is hotter, the heat is different, and it takes a lot out of you.
And even at night, not much relief from the elements at Freedom Heights. This tent city was their home.
The mosquito netting on top of a landfill, yeah, that was that didn't go over real well, but luckily we didn't have to stay there for very long.
As you look at this now, when you heard you were coming over here, or even when you signed on, is this what you expected?
Yes.
Better or worse?
Well, worse, I suppose, because you live in a tent. I didn't expect to have wooden floors. I didn't expect things to be as accessible as they are, running water, showers. But they are. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Jason Stahl took what he learned at Gitmo, Kentucky, and Iraq, and turned it into a career. Now training MPs himself.
You're okay. Just go in and stick that in the bucket.
And working on his small family acreage.
Where's everybody at down there? I am proud of putting the uniform on and doing my job, doing what's asked of me. I've gone a lot of places that I wanted to go, some places I didn't want to go. But somebody's got to do it, and as long as I can, I'm going to.
Ben's getting all the toppings.
In 2001, Jerry Kroger had 5 children, ranging from 6-year-old twins to age 14.
After the 3 weeks here, they took them kind of hard and stuff like that, but after that, they're starting to adjust to it, and they're doing fine. They're starting to get used to not being there.
Now always there is a proud grandfather in a growing family. His oldest daughter, who helped so much then, also learned so much from him.
He made a big sacrifice for us, and I'm just glad he's back home. And I would not be the person I am without him today.
Not long after we left Cuba in the spring of 2002, the camp itself started to change. Within months, Tent City for the guards and the chain link fence for the detainees were abandoned for more permanent units. There are now less than 100 detainees housed there, and the debate has been on whether or not the remaining men should be moved and the facility shut down.
I prefer not to have detainees in our country. It frustrates me sending some of the guys that we know that did bad things to us and stuff like that, releasing them, then they get filtered back in and they're part of ISIS or whatever. I would feel better if they keep that prison open and trial them and convict them and let them stay there.
I don't personally think it would be the greatest idea to shut it down because that is a resource for us if and when we were to ever need to use Gitmo again.
Either way they go, they're kind of in the hot box. I mean, some of those people have been down there so long that if they actually ended up there by wrong place, wrong time, you've created, an enemy just because they're there. These are some of the articles.
Misty is moving forward with her life, fighting for those who came home to smiles and cheers, but who were hurting so much on the inside.
22 veterans a day that commit suicide. Unfortunately, we've lost 2 since the last 2 deployments. So, well, not the last 2, but those, Cuba and Iraq.
Using her time, training, and talents to make life better for those who have served and are serving now.
I'm in a position where I can still help soldiers in their missions now because I work at the Arsenal. Married, the kids are all older, and I have grandchildren now, so which is nice.
3 veterans finding their own ways to give back after giving so much for their country. Back in the day, back at Guantanamo Bay. You can watch this and part 1 of our Back to the Bay series right now at KWQC.com.